So recently, someone sent me a post from Baller Alert, which is a popular account that many people visit. Baller Alert focuses on news, celebrity gossip, politics, journalism, what have you. But when I visited the account, I've seen more of an urban theme. So Baller Alert tends to focus on hip-hop or Black and Hispanic issues. But this post specifically highlighted the issue of women or females getting killed when they reject the advances of men. Now, this is a topic to talk about. For those of you who don't know, Baller Alert is very popular on Instagram. It has over 4 million followers, and their stories get thousands of likes and reposts and comments every day. It was pretty sad reading some of the stories that Baller Alert posted regarding women being killed, such as Tiara, who was killed during a festival for rejecting a man's advances. Now, I don't really know the statistics behind how many women are killed by men for rejecting their advances, but this video is pretty much just me sharing my thoughts on the subject. So first, men, if a woman rejects you or turns you down, just take it. It happened. That's life. And I know, you might feel rejected, you might feel embarrassed, you might feel like your life is going to be over, but as Pac said, life goes on. And Baller Alert made sure to mention men's masculinity and how there's this complex that men deal with regarding their masculinity. Masculinity is usually associated with men. Me personally, I think of it as testosterone. So testosterone is like masculinity, while estrogen is like femininity, to me. This has not been argued, this has not been proven, it's just my theory. To me, it makes sense to equate masculinity with testosterone because men with higher testosterone tend to be more aggressive, and being aggressive is a masculine trait, or a stereotypical masculine trait. Now it's time to address the women. When you are a man, it seems to me that you're expected to approach. You're expected to be the aggressor and ask a woman out. So if you're rejected by multiple women or you're turned down all the time, that's going to be a pretty big hit to your ego. So as a man who's been rejected a lot of times, you start thinking to yourself, is it me? What did I do wrong? Does nobody like me? And then you get into this lonely, depressive state. And if you think about it, there's a lot of situations where it's like, okay, I see a woman that I like, but how am I supposed to go about this? I mean, I've been to the gym before and I've seen nice looking women there, and it's like, how do you approach them? Hey, I like how you're working those buns there. No, it's never really appropriate. That's what makes apps like Tinder very good for people. It's a lifesaver, it's a godsend. For the record, we're talking about heterosexual interactions here, so for anybody who's gay out there or a member of the LGBTQ+ community, sorry. But that is a good topic for another day. With me, I've had experience being turned down by women who I've asked out a lot of times. In fact, when's the last time someone actually said yes when I approached them? But instead of being angry at the woman or going after her or trying to call her a name, instead, I looked at myself. Like, how did I approach this woman? Was my breath stinking? Did I look presentable? What did I say? Did I say something awkward?
Or maybe she just had a boyfriend.
Yeah, that too. But there were those cases where women were just plain mean. I remember one time I was at school in college and I approached one woman and said, hey, I think you're beautiful. And you know what she did? Aw, you shouldn't have. Psych. She laughed in my face. And while it's never acceptable for men to kill women or to chase after them or call them derogatory names when they're turned down, we must look at a different side of things. Maybe these guys just don't know how to cope. Coping is very important. Coping with rejection, coping with letdown. Like, how do you deal with these emotions that go through your mind, through your heart when you are upset? So we have to teach our young boys how to cope. An example of this is like with racism. Yeah, I know, I talk about race a lot, but hey. Now with racism, scholars like Clark and his colleagues back in the 90s showed that it could take a toll on you mentally, your psychological well-being, your physical well-being, your blood pressure. So Clark and his colleagues argued that coping mechanisms can help prevent these things from occurring. And I argue that coping can help prevent women from getting killed when they turn down men. So we have to teach our young boys how to cope. We have to teach our older boys how to cope. And what are some coping mechanisms that you can use? Well, I say maybe you can learn how to be more physically active. So if you're angry, just go to the gym. Another thing could be breathing techniques. So if you feel embarrassed, you could just go in the corner and breathe, get yourself together. Obviously, I'm not an expert at coping, and this actually could make a good blog post. Yeah, I'm not an expert, but there are areas that can be explored. That doesn't mean we don't reprimand the men that do harm to women, but we should also try and teach them how to better themselves. And that's pretty much my response to this Baller Alert blog post. So I hope you liked the video, and make sure to tune in next time. Sidebar: K3mistry Productions has a music subsidiary called Conscious Records. Yeah, if you're wondering how that came about, that's a story for another day. But anyway, Conscious Records released a track entitled Display featuring the singer Brandon Tyler, and this song talks about a man's pursuit of a woman. So I definitely encourage you all to go check it out, and I think you'll like it. It should be a pretty good summer jam. Oh yeah, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. That would be very much appreciated. Thanks.
After a while, I had believed that you would be the one, but you ain't give me the time